Okay, can you hear me now? You should be able to hear me now. Okay, okay. Can you hear me now? What is going on? No sound? Oh my gosh, what in the world is happening? You can hear me now. Okay, great. Oh my goodness, that was just a delay. Thank goodness. I was in a panic. I was saying hello to everybody that was here, and now you can hear me. Before you couldn't hear me. Well, thanks everybody so much for being here today. I'm so excited just to be able to have a live with you all today. So no video today, but thank you, Susanna or Susanna. Yeah, Betsy. Thanks, Golden Phoenix, Joan of Arc. Yes, thank you, thank you. Ding Dong Bells, Carte Blanche, Chef Girl, Maggie, thank you, Crystal. Yay, Angie's here. Lisa Hernandez. Wonderful that you all are here. Hello, Scotland, sunny days. Mwah. Thank you for being here. So, as you all know or may not know, I am still in Europe. I'm in Germany right now. Um, Hamid. Oh, someone's calling me. Oh, I can't take that right now. Um, hmm. Anyway, so what we're going to be talking about today, we're going to be talking about some news, some things that are going on in the news, but I really wanted to open it up to a lot of your questions. Give me 1 second. My phone is being blown up like crazy right. Okay, I they can call me back. Okay. So, what we're going to be talking about are going to be led. It's going to be led by you. By I wanted to have you all lead the conversation about what we should be talking about. There's so much going on right now, and I really do believe we are at a pivotal point in this relationship with Harry and Meghan, most importantly. And then, we're going to have issues with the Wells because, as King Charles has done, apparently, from what I'm told, Harry has, yeah, he's been in Angola, and he's been sent there on behalf of the British government. King Charles, like there was this reception for Harry. There's a lot where Harry is now being given the support by the monarchy, and I don't think that the Wells are very happy about that, or at least they are not behind it. But it's very much like King Charles and his people to want to support him and to bring him back into the fold. And I want to get your opinion about it. I want to talk about it. I think we're in a very pivotal time in this relationship with the royal family in terms of Harry and his coming back into royal life and what that could mean. And, we have to always remember that no one ever thought that Camilla would be back into the royal fold. Like, we never thought in a million years she would marry King Charles. I mean, Prince Charles at the time. Like, go figure, right? We never saw that. But I will talk to you about the difference between why it worked for Camilla and why it will never work for Harry, because there is a big difference. There is a big difference. And it worked for someone like Camilla. And they think those in the hallways of Buckingham Palace, or those that are trying to work on changing the opinion of Harry, they think that they will be able to do this PR spin within their playbooks to try to slowly but surely get Harry back into the royal fold. But we say, no, no, no. It's not going to happen. And part of that component has to do with Meghan. But I want to lead the conversation with your questions. I want you all to ask me questions. So let's see how we can do this. We can, I don't know if we've seen Lizzie B here. She usually helps me. Oh, Lizzie B is here. Hi, Lizzie B. Yes, so thank you. So I wish there was a way we could do this, and okay, so let me just take on what Maureen is saying, Ingleston. Okay, Maureen is saying this. She's saying, I'm sick to death of Harry trying to cash in on his dead mother again. There you go. That is part of the issue that we're talking about. Because what he has done, what he will continue to do, is cash in on this relationship with his deceased mother. Because that's the only thing he has going for him right now. And so he'll do it as much as he has to. What? To pay his bills. Because that's the only way he can see moving forward doing anything. Because that's, what else does he have? Does he have any talent? Does this man have any skill set that he could offer to help him earn a living? No. Literally, the only thing he has is being the son of the most famous woman in the world. That is the only thing he has. And when someone only has that, that's what they're going to use to make money. So as we move forward, we will see Harry do it over and over and over again. Because that's the only thing that he has that has any value, any worth. That is the only thing that really makes Harry seem somewhat relevant to people. Is because he is the son of the late Princess Diana, the most, I think, beloved, loved, famous woman of the world. There will never, ever be another Princess Diana. Never. So, I mean, I think that's pretty problematic. And I also think that Harry is somebody that won't even try to find a way that would give him credibility in another way. Like, he's so lazy. He is so much of a dweeb, a dork of a person that would just sit around and live off of his dead mother. He won't go out and try to find a skill set. He won't go out and try to find value that he could bring. He won't go out and try to work hard and be that person who perseveres and, gets through and makes his way to learning and doing something new, because what? He's lazy. He would never do that. So, And it's a problem. But I'm going to tell you something. William and Catherine, they're never going to see this man come back into the royal fold. But the prince is trying. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that as well. There has been some information that came out about... Okay, wait a minute. Okay, here's a question. We're going to talk about some things with Angola. So, do you think it is? Thank you. Golden Phoenix is saying, do you think it is Meg's push that she pushed Harry to go to Angola? I don't know that she pushed him to go, but I think there is a trade-off. There is some kind of money that was offered to him. I heard it was around $600,000. So there's still some things I need to confirm about that, but let me just check it out. Let's see. Sent to Angola by British government. Let's see here what comes up. So the stories that are basically out are saying that Harry basically is following in the footsteps of Princess Diana. So they're leading the story by saying that he's echoing the footsteps of his late mother. He is, doing things that Diana did. He's carrying on, things that his mother started. Um, so it just shows you that, that's the way he's going to go about doing things. So let's just look at what's out there about him being, let's see. Prince Harry won't let Meghan. So there's all this talk about Harry not letting Meghan go to England because uh, it's too dangerous for her. So let's just say something. You idiot! You are walking through these landmines. You're looking. We know you're not in any danger. We know that they're all cleared out before he even goes on this walk, but you are given this perception that you are doing something dangerous when we know you're not in any danger. But yet you want us to believe that you are not going to let Meghan come to the United Kingdom because it's too dangerous. Now, let me tell you how it really worked. Let me tell you why he says that, because I know why he is saying that. Okay. So I'll give you a scenario of how it's already even been said. We remember when Harry talked about wanting to leave the UK and go to California. In the Netflix documentary, Harry said he was the one that made that decision. He said, I have to get my family out of here. It's dangerous. So much is going on, right? We all know that was not Harry saying that. That was Meghan. When he gave the speech at the Well Child Awards before they left to go to America, he talked about leaving everybody and how sad he was that he had to leave, making it seem like he was the one taking his family out. We know that that's just not the case. We know it's Meghan saying these things, not Harry. So we have another similar situation because that's the precedence. That's what we have to go off on. How Harry tried to make us believe he was the one bringing his family to California. It's just like, for real, for real. I'm like giving him the side eye. Oh yeah, it was you, Harry. Yeah, you don't want to go to California. Like, you don't even have the kahunas to even take yourself anywhere outside the royal family. You couldn't even go anywhere outside your royal family until you met your wife. She's the reason why you had the kahunas to leave the royal family. You couldn't do it by yourself. So she gave you that extra push that you needed to take you outside of what you didn't want to continue doing. You don't have what it takes to initiate something like that on your own. You just don't. Okay. And so when Harry left with his family, it was Meghan's idea. But yet he wanted to say it was his idea because he wanted to look like he was being the man who was taking his family to safety. He's there to save the day. It's no different than saying that your wife is not going to go to the United Kingdom because it's too dangerous. This is what I believe Meghan actually did. And I said this, I think, once before in a video. Okay. What she has done is basically she has given Harry this false hope that, yes, dear, I will go back to the United Kingdom on one condition. If I can get that security, that A level, high level security. This is why I think Harry had been fighting for it, because he knew the only way to get his wife to even leave California to go to England was to give her what she wanted. It's almost like if you tell somebody, you know what, I'll go out with you on a date, but you gotta buy me a diamond ring, a $20,000 diamond ring. Well, this said person that she's trying to say she'd go out on a date with, if he gave her a $20,000 diamond ring, is extremely poor, doesn't have the money. She knows that he'll never be able to afford a $20,000 diamond ring. So she'll say it all day long. I will if you do this. I will if you do this. Knowing it will never happen. And so that's what I think Meghan has done. She has given Harry this false hope that she will go to the United Kingdom if she gets what she wants, because she wants to be as high profile and as important and like on the even playing grounds as Catherine. She doesn't want to be at the bottom. So she's going to try to elevate herself up to a certain status, which would mean how she would go back, knowing that, Harry was never going to win those cases that security issue that he was fighting for. And I think Meghan is playing on these things with Harry, knowing it won't happen, therefore knowing that she'll never have to go to England because the bar is so high. And because it's ridiculous, isn't it? Isn't it ridiculous that he won't bring his family to the United Kingdom? But yet we see him going to Nigeria. We see him going to Colombia. We see him walking in these dangerous landmines. We see him going all over the world. But he's protecting his family in a country where more people are killed via guns. I mean, this man has more likelihood of walking down the street and getting shot in the head with a stray bullet in America than anything ever happening to them in the United Kingdom. Like, really, for real, for real. Look at the statistics on the crime that's happening in California now. And you want to talk about keeping your family safe? I was just in the UK, right? Like, they don't have the guns per person as they do in America, like they do in the UK. Most people, you're not even allowed to have guns, right? The police officers don't even have guns. Only certain police. Like, it's ridiculous. We all know it's ridiculous. So if it doesn't sound right, if it sounds ridiculous, then guess what? More than likely, it's not true. Because it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's probably not true. Okay? There's no way this man could be. He grew up in the United Kingdom, for goodness sakes. So Harry's feeding people a load of baloney when he talks about not bringing his family to the UK. There's reasons that he knows why he can't bring her there, and he's too embarrassed to tell the truth. Because realistically, it's more realistic that Meghan set the bar so high that she'll never go to the United Kingdom, but knowing that you'll never get that. You'll never get the bar as high as what she's setting it at. Because he's the dweeb. So, that's how it is. So let's go here and see what other comments we have. Maureen says the only threat in the UK is the Harkles being bombarded with tomatoes. That's right. Because here's the other thing about that. Meghan knows. She knows the minute she goes to the UK and there are people outside of any venue that she may go into, she is going to get booed heavily. Heavily. Do you know how much anxiety she would have to have before going to the United Kingdom? Do you know how much she is dreading having to face the fact? Because we know she knows. Because I can almost guarantee you, anywhere she goes in the United Kingdom, there are going to be so many people outside booing her, or like Maureen is saying with tomatoes, this woman knows she has done some not so good things. And that's unfortunate for her because she has such a great opportunity. She really did. And, but I think at this point, you have to own up to the mistakes that you've made. And I think the problem for Meghan is that she continues to show herself to not be the person that shows humility. She doesn't do the right thing by people. She still has yet to speak to her own father, who is ailing, who is not well. And I think William knows that. And that's the question that I heard one royal commentator say. Why are they trying so hard to get back into this family? But Megan has yet to even speak to her own family, even Doria, her mother's family. But you want to get back in with the royal family because there's more potential to earn a living off of the relationship with the royal family rather than your own real family. And I think for Megan, this is a very pivotal point for her to do right by her family. Because I think, let me ask you all a question. If Megan were to make up with her father and to just reach out to him and to apologize for all the things that she has done to her father, and if she were to do the same to Samantha and Tom Jr., would you forgive her? Could you let me know in the comments? Would you forgive Megan if she came and was very sincere and very apologetic about how she treated her father, how she wants to have a relationship with him, and just go all in about, like, make herself like this small? Because we know she got a big head. Like, we know the head is real big. But if she brought that swelling down in her big head, like she brought it real down, and if she became this small, if she were able to do that and show some humility, would you forgive her? Let me see what you all are saying. Okay, so let's see. Ding Dong Bell said, no way, no way. Golden Phoenix, no, she can do it again. In my opinion, she already went too far. Okay, wow, interesting. No way, no way, no, never. Not one person would forgive her? Oh my goodness. Megan will never apologize, and no, I would never forgive her. Wow. I already. You guys are telling it, right? Chef Girl says no. Uh-uh. Teresa says, I'm thinking no. She's saying no. There's not one person that would forgive her. Eden Maddox, wow. It would be lip service, would not be authentic. No, she's a servant. Okay. Because let me ask you this question. If you found out, this is good. If you found out that King Charles was trying, like if we had like real evidence, we already have this speculation, but if we had really clear-cut evidence that King Charles is trying to help Prince Harry get back into royal life, would you allow that from the king? Would you think that's okay for the king to do? What would you say? Yes or no? Would you give grace to the king because well, it's his son, he loves his son despite what's happened? Would you think it's okay for the king to help his son at this point? Okay, so Lori is saying I would forgive but not allow her in the royal family. Okay, that's for Megan. Okay. Use Glasgow would travel down south to egg Meg I right in her coupon face. Oh, travel down south to egg. Oh, to egg her right. Okay, Denise Elborn. You be really working hard to do that, huh? Okay, no, says blah, 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 blah. Okay, no, wow. I haven't found not one person that would show forgiveness. Wow. You can't forgive the indefensible. I mean, it's pretty bad what has happened. I mean, you think about the things that this man has done, it's out there forever. Like, it's never going to go away. It is forever what he has done to his family. The Oprah interview, the book Spare, the Netflix documentary, it is at a level where so much has happened that Harry just needs to understand that his life with his family is over forever. But I think that Charles is trying to help his son. That's the information that's going to be coming out very soon. That if it hasn't already, I mean, I haven't checked some of the news, but he is helping, from some sources that I've spoken to. He is helping his son, giving, like, even this Angola trip uh, is one of the things that he has helped Harry with. There's no trust, never, would rather put. I have never heard that before, Susan. Okay, that's a visual. That is a visual. Okay. Uh Last night's PDF searches, I couldn't sleep. What's that? Last night's PDF searches, I couldn't sleep. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Stephen. I must be a little something I don't get. Nope. Milo says nope. No, as you know how she works inside. Yeah, she has. See, that's the thing. Okay, so I think the other spin on that is, if you. No, I don't think that would work. I think somebody would have to hit such a hard rock bottom before people would even think about forgiving them. I think that's the issue. I think as long as they are trying to live their lives as if nothing has happened, nothing is wrong, they're living the greatest life ever, there's absolutely no chance of people forgiving them. But I think that once you saw them probably destitute and lacking any kind of luxurious life, like they've hit, like they're living on the street, they have gone completely broke. If you saw that, maybe I'm wondering if you would then forgive them. Like Harry's strung out on drugs. He's all, well, we kind of already know he probably got a drug problem, but we know he does have a problem. But if we saw that it just escalated and got continually worse, and Megan's out holding up signs, we'll work for food, like, would you forgive her then? Would you still be like, no? Like it just seems like, how I think it would have to get really, really bad for them for people to even think about forgiving. That's how much they're not liked. That's what I feel. That's exactly what I feel. She didn't like them when she was young. Yeah, well, that's true. She didn't like. I didn't. Sorry, two new stars here. Carmela Divine, thank you for your super sticker. Thank you very much, dear. Appreciate it. And Lori Aval has gifted a P Dina membership. Well, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that very much. Okay. So let's see. Michelle de Groot says she'd lose respect for the king. Yeah, I think a lot of people would lose respect if they had an inkling of a thought that the king was helping Harry. They would not be happy about that. Um, Carmela says, I can't go for that. No can do. No, 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 no. I can't go for that. I can't forget that. Oh yeah, I can't go. Is that the song? I think I'm singing the song, and no, don't go for that. Um, Greeny Yes Show says no, I can't. They can't be trusted. No, the monarchy would never be over. Never. Wow, you guys are really telling it like it is. Wow. Well, I think basically the king will lose a lot of support. I mean, just by the evidence of this informal poll that we're doing, if the king were caught trying to help Harry, they would stop supporting the king. And I have to admit, I too myself would not support the king anymore, because he's basically, Harry's like a traitor. He is like somebody who went against his own country. He went against his own family. For what? For what? For that. Okay. And that's just like people, that's just a place. Yeah. There's no bringing Harry back. Wow. Okay. You guys have spoken. Um, she's blah 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 says she's not getting those fake kids. They will probably be adopted back to their real mother. Oh, that song was from Hall and Oates. Okay, yeah, I knew Daryl Hall and John Oates. Yes, I knew that. I recognized that song. Okay, no, no. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Um, uh, Hall and Oates can't go for that. Let's see. Let me see. This is the song. Let me see if you guys recognize. I can only play a second. That's right. No can do. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Okay. Oh, yes. And everything that Catherine has gone through. I mean, you think about William, you think about everything that he's had to go through for his wife and her illness. He would be, I think he's at a point now where he's just so like cut off from any potential relationship. Like there's just like no way to ever come back, ever, ever. And I think Harry just needs to see that he's got to really, I think, just live his life in Montecito in California. But from what I'm hearing is that they're not even together, Harry and Meghan. Now, what I want to say is, we see things in the media. We see things uh, that are being reported on by people. We see the social media from people like Megan and Harry doesn't have social media, but we see the curation of this image that has to be curated, right? Because there's a lot riding on the relationship being together. And so when you have a relationship with someone that the public sees as a unit, this unit has to appear to be aligned in purpose because there's a lot riding on that has to do with financial gain. And so when there are cracks and when you do really have problems where you're not really together, you go to great lengths to not show the disconnect of the relationship because there's so much riding on you being together as a couple that has to do with your financial well-being. But as I've heard through some sources, they're not together. Now, people may say, well, yeah, they are still together. But when I say that they're not together, that can mean a few things. That could mean that the relationship is where they're together physically, but mentally, they're not really there for each other like they were before. Or it could mean that they are distant physically in the relationship and mentally in the relationship. So there's different scenarios and ways, or maybe they're cutting down on their time. They're not spending as much time together. We know Harry is traveling a lot more. We know that there's things that are planned that are in the future, like the Invictus Games in 2027 at Birmingham. So maybe there's just waiting to stay together visually because there are certain things that are coming up. I hear talks that they're going to be going to, I think, Ghana. And so there's a lot, like I said, riding financially on this couple really appearing and having the likeness of a couple that is together. But there are many ways to be in this picturesque kind of moment where it looks like you're together, but behind the scenes, they're not together. in whatever kind of way. And that's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing. And guess what? It would make sense. It would make sense that that would be the case. I mean, you look at how we know that they're going through some financial issues. We know that Harry definitely wants to reconcile with his family, something that Meghan does not want to do. We know she does not want anything to do with the UK. I mean, imagine if you're Harry, how are you going to move forward in your purpose and your spouse does not want anything to do with what you're continually trying to seek and get back? But she wants nothing to do with, like, how do you do that? That's almost like you uh you're on an island somewhere and one person wants to get off the island and the other person doesn't want to get off the island. Well, how do you stay married as a couple if the one partner keeps looking for the boat, the ship to come rescue them, and the other spouse has just said, well, look, I'm just going to stay here. I'm not going nowhere. How are you going to still be together? How are you going to move forward in purpose if one person wants to leave the island and the other one wants to stay? So, like, we're watching that scenario actually in real time. We're watching that scenario. We are watching a man try to leave the island and leave and go while the other spouse wants to stay put, doesn't want to go nowhere. So the conflict, the appearance of this couple no longer aligned in purpose is something that we're seeing in real time, because we see every time it comes out about what Harry is trying to do. And Harry is definitely on a different path because he's constantly leaving and traveling and going somewhere and giving us the excuse, well, I can't bring Meghan to the UK because it's just too dangerous. That's a bunch of malarkey, okay? That's a bunch of gobbledygook malarkey. That's, what are you saying? She don't want to come to the UK. Do you know how well protected she would be in the UK if she were to come? Like, I mean, you don't have an excuse. It's not like you're, oh my goodness, you guys hear all that noise out there? Hold on, there's a bunch of, so Miss Terry saying, you, oh my goodness, there's some loud noise going on out there. You're right, but I think she gives her orders and he still abides by them. As soon as she'll smile to him, he'll go back. I'm sure he is going to spill the beans to Meghan. Yeah, we know that he'll spill the beans. But here's the other thing about that I think is important that some people may not think. But this is what I think. Harry, at some point, has started to see things that he may not have wanted to recognize as truth. You can't be that blind forever. At some point, your eyes gotta open and see the reality. Because when you're first together in the relationship, you are so head over heels. You're smitten for that person. You're just, whatever they do, oh, it's so lovely. It's so lovely what you're doing. Like, everything is nice and wonderful. But we all know as the relationship goes on, it starts like to fall, where you start to see things that bother you now that didn't bother you before. And so what I believe is Harry has not at that point yet where we can see it, because we can see it because we're not invested like that. We don't look at Meghan and go, oh, isn't she so nice? We just love her. We just love her. Meghan. But Harry, on the other hand, at some point, he is going to start opening his eyes to the reality of the situation, because he's lost so much. He's lost everything. And when you have no more self-worth, it's all been stripped, and you allowed it to happen because you were so googly-eyed, You know, it didn't bother you then because you're still like stars and oh, and that's so nice and I love her, I love her, I love her. But as you know, real life starts to set in and your life starts to be more affected by the choices you've made with this person, like financially, you know, you start to think more with reality. The circumstances become like real in your face, like wake up. And that is, I think, happening for him. Slowly but surely it is happening. And at some point will be the breaking point where enough is enough and he's going to allow it to, you know, move on. Okay? So this is what Lizzie B is saying, that he is way immature to realize the gravity of the situation. He's 40 years old and he is still throwing tantrums. You know, Lizzie B, I agree with you. But I think here's the thing. When as you continue to mature, as you start to get older, you do become wiser. And I think Harry is definitely, thank you, Lizzie B, for gifting the membership. Thank you so much. It's so nice of you. Working on my member videos now as we speak. So thank you so much, Lizzie B. You're so kind. I think wisdom comes with age, and I think Harry is just hasn't really grown up yet because he's been a little stunted from the loss of his mother. And so he is still a little bit immature because of this tragedy that he had to deal with as such a young child. But every day he's getting older, he's getting wiser, and I think he will mature into his eye-opening experience. I don't know when that will happen, but that's just how life works, you know? And I think at some point you have to grow up, and depending on when that will happen will dictate when we will start to see that change in him, because he has to realize at some point this is not a healthy relationship. Now, it could be that he never recognizes that and he continues to use and he continues to harm himself with the drugs that he is taking because he does not want to face the reality. And that's the other side of that that is very, I think, somewhat dangerous, because Harry is of the mind to numb himself from his trauma. And we know he has a lot of trauma from the death of his mother, and I think even the divorce of his parents. And I think in a way he's very resentful of Camilla, because we know he talked about Camilla in his book about how she is like the vixen. So he has some certain feelings about this woman that has this position. The reality is that his mother should be in. Like like Diana should be the queen right now. And the fact that she isn't, we don't know, is affecting Harry in a certain way. And so there's a lot of trauma underneath all of this pain that we're seeing that Harry has to deal with. And we don't really get to see it up close, but we know it's there by the signs of what he wrote in his book. That's just one of them, you know? So we know that he is someone that could definitely, he has the tendency to do things that would really flip it for him where it would not be good for him. Like he would, and we know that, I believe he did have a relapse. Okay, when I did my video on, is my friend, is Paula here? Is someone said hi, Paula? Because oh, she is here. Hey, Miss Paula girl. Miss Paula girl, you never sent me that information you were supposed to send me, girl. You didn't send it, okay? I'm telling you, you didn't send it. But I'm showing you now how Harry is, like, what is happening right now. Like, this is huge because there are things that the king is doing at this very moment that we don't like. This is alleged information, okay? That the king is helping Harry as we speak. That's the reality of what's happening. Okay? So uh thank you, Miss Paula M. Hey, Miss Paula M. Thank you so much for your super chat, your super sticker. I appreciate that. I know you have some 411. We were talking about how the king is helping Harry. There's definitely a plan in place to get Harry back into the fold of the royal family. And it's not a good thing. It's not, I mean, he's in Angola, right? He went to Angola. Is he still there? Is Harry still there? Let's see what's going on here. All of my sites are coming up in German, and I can't read this to you all in German. Let me pull up my. I don't know why it is keeps turning it into German, but there she is. Yes, Paula, you didn't send me the information. You, okay. Okay, so I'm on the link you just sent me, and then go on their website and show that he was hosted by with other dignitaries. Yeah, it's on this website, right? Yeah, send me that one too. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, send me that one. That's the one I wanted to talk about today. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Okay. So yeah, so here's what's happening, folks. So let's see here. We're gonna talk about how the British embassy hosted Harry. That's a problem because that's the government. Do you think Harry is able to get the British government to host him with a phone call? Or do you think he would get that at the support and help from his papa, the king? What you think? I say the latter. I say the latter. Absolutely. Now, you do not get to do things within the British government as an exiled son. You only get that opportunity when the king makes a phone call. So King Charles isn't fooling anybody. And we all know the past with King Charles. Just like when I was on Dan Wooten's show, the lady that did the piece on King Charles wanting to bring back King George or Edward the Eighth back into the royal to bring him out of exile, like he was more apt to do that. And the Queen said no. She put a stop to that. She was like, no, you don't. You're not coming back. Your butt is staying in exile. Go back to Paris. Go back to the Bahamas. Anywhere but the UK. And we know the king has this tendency to want to do that, to help have that support. We all know what Prince Philip would say. We saw how he wasn't very strong and very like a man's man type of man that's like putting up these barriers and fighting the fight. Here, I mean, the king would just succumb to it. He's not the kind of person that is going to, be that stern, like make someone learn from their mistakes kind of a person. He's going to be more apt to forgive. And I think that's Harry's position all the way. It just is. So let's see here. So I'm going to pull this up so we can all see it, where the British government. Okay, so here's what we need to look at. Let me pull this up. Actually, let me put this up so we can all read it together, because this is what we need. This is something that we need to definitely discuss. And thank you, Paula, for sending that to me. I was wanting to get that. Um, Let me pull this up. Give me 1 second, everybody. The downloads. Here we go. Okay. So this here, if we look at what happened with Harry going to Angola, we can see that the Duke met with the president, of Angola. I don't know how do you pronounce his name, Luanda, yesterday, to welcome the Angolan government's renewed community to landmine clearance. Now, this is part of this I don't even understand. I'm like, really? You're still clearing landmines like since like over 30 years ago when Diana did all this? Like, how is this even possible? Like, they got over $100 million to clear these landmines. It's almost like, even in my work with my charity, it's like all the money goes to these really big nonprofits. And it's almost like, well, if you're constantly getting the money all the time to do the work that you're doing, we should have eradicated a lot of the problems within the community for young people, because you guys have been getting money for years. But yet we still have so many problems that we're dealing with in areas around young people, and important skills that they need to learn, and the violence, and the literacy rates of young people, the communication, the everything about what these really not big nonprofits are doing. Like, they get so much money, but yet the problems don't ever go away. I mean, the corruption is huge, and I know personally, the presidents of a lot of these charities are making six figures. They're making a lot of money. It's a racket, and charities, small charities like mine, the ones that they want to just give all the problems to. I mean, that's what happens, because I think it's a racket, and it's a big problem. There's a lot of politics involved, a lot. So it's almost like, how can these landmines still, how can this still be an issue? Like, how can this still be a problem, right? So there's this renewed commitment to landmine clearance. Oh, okay, thank you. Landmine clearance, including a new 3-year contract with the Halo Trust. Later that day, the Duke joined leaders from the business and diplomatic communities at a reception hosted by who? By who? The British Embassy, where he highlighted the value of long-term international partnerships in achieving humanitarian goals. Now, if this is not King Charles helping his son be hosted by the British Embassy, I don't know who else this could be coming from. And you're the son that's supposed to be exiled. You're supposed to be the one that has tried to throw your family under a bus. You're the one who has slagged off your family. And now, when you want to suddenly come back and reconcile with your family, you are now getting hosted by the British Embassy. Oh no. Oh no. This is a problem. King Charles is trying to be slick with supporting Harry, because this right here is telling me, and this is what I think is going to happen as Harry's eyes become more adjusted to the reality of his situation. He will get the support of his father to help bring him back, while also protecting him from whatever it is that Meghan will do, because I think she's a very vindictive person that is waiting to do a book, because we know she was shopping around a post-divorce book. There are some things that she's planning to do, even with a documentary on Netflix. And we know if she did these two things, she would make, I think, a lot of money. I think it would be more money than they made with the Netflix documentary Harry and Meghan. And so I can see the king trying to bring Harry back as a precursor to the impending divorce because they are not happy together. How can you be when you've lost everything? The money is drying up. We know divorce is one of the number one reasons why couples divorce. And especially when one wants to live on this side of the continent or this side of the world, and the other one wants to live and be on the other side of the world. How are you still aligned in purpose when you are trying to take your butt back to your home country and your spouse does not want to leave to go to that country, but yet you make an excuse, you make up a lie, you make up a fairy tale that you can't bring your wife there because it's too dangerous. You better go somewhere and kick rocks. I ain't listening to you. That's a lie. That is a lie. Okay? So let's keep it real. Let's not try to throw fluff, up and make it seem like it makes sense because it doesn't. It does not make sense. Okay. There's a couple more. Okay, yep, and this right here says it all. This is what it is. Harry is still part of the royal family. So no matter what he does, he will still have the blood of Diana running through his veins. And the light of Diana was so bright that that means something. That means a lot. That he has the blood of Diana, and I don't know if he's got the king's blood. I mean, there's some stories out there. Have you heard? Have you heard some of the stories? Yeah, there's some things going on. Um, so Charlotte dialed it back on Palace Confidential a bit today. Richard Eden went in pretty hard against her. I don't know. I didn't see that episode today. Um, but I have to see what Charlotte said. And man child, yes, definitely he is. They hosted Harry while the king was at the Islamic Studies place and supporting them. Yeah. Uh, King Charles is messing everything up and needs to step down and let William be king. I have to agree. And they are supposed to be politically neutral. So as we can see, the king is helping Harry. And then this is the other thing I did talk about this. I think it was about a year and a half ago. And we know that the king has actually bought some property in New York City. And it was supposed to be for some diplomatic figures. I think some people were saying that it was not for the king. Well, yeah, okay. But there were some property purchased in New York City, and I would believe that the king would purchase that in the with the likelihood that his son would be staying there, because from New York to the United Kingdom is not as far as from California to the United Kingdom. From New York to the United Kingdom is about 5 hours, 5, 6 hours, right? From LA to the UK, it's about 9, 10 hours. So there's a big difference there. So it would make sense for Harry to be based with, if we look at them having these children, if there are children, that scenario, then we've got these children that would be on one coast with Harry, and then at the other coast with Meghan. That's how that would work. And then Harry would go to the UK with the kids from New York because it's closer. That's how that will work. So, yeah. Better get things right for the country. Harry is a traitor to the country. Yeah, and I think that's how most people will see Harry, as a traitor. Once he became desperate and needed money, all of a sudden he wants to come back. there's clear motive there. He's just using the people. There's no real desire to do the right thing and to show humility. I mean, I think he would have to absolutely ask for forgiveness from the people of the United Kingdom and of the realms, and uh, that he would definitely have to, I think, do a lot of work for that forgiveness. And even then, he's not guaranteed it. Right. Even then, it's like, okay, we'll think about it. We'll think about it. you know. So Annie is saying he would not be embassy without the king. Yep, exactly. He would not be there without the king knowing it. So if we can look and see what is happening here with the Halo Trust, we clearly see that this is the evidence that the king is definitely, yeah, has got his hand in some things. The one, okay, which British embassy reception? Well, when you look at the umbrella of the British embassy, because they were in Angola, right? Where he highlighted the value of long-term international partnership achieving humanitarian goals, the Halo Trust. Later that day, the Duke joined the leaders from the business and diplomatic communities at a reception that was hosted by the British Embassy. So, just in general, the British Embassy, but not saying which location. So, they were in, yeah, Angola. So. Oh, thanks for saying that, Christine. Watching me on it, I love Dan. Dan is so sweet. I had such a nice time speaking with him at Lady C's ball, and just really just building up our community, and it's just such a great feeling to be able to talk about all of this that's happening. And I think when we see what has happened with the relationship with Harry and Meghan, we can see all the problems that it has caused. And I think the worst of that relationship has yet to happen, because Harry is still walking blind in his stupidness. Like he's still, he's not quite there yet. His eyeballs are not quite open to the reality of his situation. So it's like we all got our eyes open. Hey, Harry, no, go the other way, Harry. No, go the other way. We're all here shouting at the rooftops, and he's trying. I mean, he's trying to make his way. I think he's on the verge of being there, but he's just not quite there yet. And even that one newscast or one show is always on 24-hour divorce watch. Like, there's some things that he knows about. Like he's got the clock up on his channel ticking away, talking about we're on divorce watch for Harry and Meghan. And it's like, okay, he knows a little bit something. Yeah, and I've heard some things too, because you have to keep in mind, we do, a lot of us YouTubers, people do reach out to us. I know a few people, that I would never mention their name, but like, yeah, we get contacted. So, and sometimes people may think, oh, well, that's not true, but did you ever think that the king would marry Camilla and that she would be queen one day? Think about it. Like, what, 15 years ago, did you ever think Camilla would be queen one day? Not queen regent, but queen. Okay, there's a difference. So you got to put in perspective. And speaking of that, before I go here, I said I'm over my time, but the reason why Camilla was able to be worked back into the royal, or to be liked, she was, I mean, really, this was one of the most hated women in all of Britain, I think. But the thing that sets the Queen Camilla aside, or puts her where she's at compared to Harry, is that Queen Camilla shut her mouth and didn't say anything and just smiled. No matter what people said about her, she just kept it moving. She didn't write no book, and she didn't talk about what evil people the UK people are. She just took it. She just took all the hot shots that people threw at her, and she didn't do anything. She didn't really voice her opinion on anything. Harry has not done that. Harry has done the complete opposite of that. Harry has done things and continues to lie about his situation to make people think that he's trying to protect this woman from the UK because it's dangerous. Like, go figure. And you live in California? Are you serious? Like, you like for real, Harry? You gonna say that with a straight face? You gotta come on now. So Harry is in a position where he is, and then we have social media. We have us YouTubers. We have so much that we're speaking out against what Harry has done that there is definitely an army of voices that are going up against Harry that would make it extremely difficult for him to ever fall back into the good graces of the monarchy. And I don't care what the king tries to do, what he tries to give Harry on a platform to make him seem like he is still part royalty. This man is a traitor. He has betrayed his country. He has called the royal, the UK people racist. He has allowed Meghan to do a lot of harm to the monarchy. He will not be forgiven for a lot of things that he has done. And that is not like with Camilla. She has done none of these things. It's almost like somebody who you say things to them and they refuse to say anything back. And the only people that are working hard are the people who are speaking negatively towards her. And it's only one-sided. And Harry is the opposite of that. He's spoken out and said so much, like said stuff about his brother, said things, very personal things, like talked about their conversations, talked about his father, was it the king or Prince Andrew, carrying a teddy bear around, like into like adulthood, like giving away really personal secrets. Like, you have crossed the line. You have crossed over to a place where you can never come back now. So it's a really different situation. They may have succeeded in bringing Camilla back, but they will never succeed in bringing Harry back, ever. Never ever. So there's a difference. So okay. Paula, thank you for your other super sticker. She's saying the parents didn't know their kids were used. They complained. He got over $6,000 in payment. That's right. Thank you so much for that, Paula. That's right. There were a lot of parents who were very unhappy with the photo that was used with hold on one second. I remember seeing that. Let me see if I can pull that up here. Prince Harry, Angola. Pictures of him with these children. And as a matter of fact, I remember when Meghan and Harry did that before at that kindergarten when they went to give away some supplies through their charity Archwell. And people were just not happy. The parents weren't happy that they had used their children in these pictures that were taken at the event. Well, you have to always get permission from the parents to use the photos of the children. You can't just use people's children and put them on a marketing campaign just because they were there. Like, that's total disrespect to the families. So thank you for that, Paula. That's absolutely right. And then I had something from, so Lori, thank you for your super chat. Patricia, do you think Prince William will ask for DNA on Harry to see if they are blood related by Charles? That's a good point. So Paula M. most recently did a video. I think you all should check it out, where she talked about some new evidence that was in a book written by a man about the truth when Princess Diana actually met James Hewitt. We know that they said that the official story was that Diana did not meet James Hewitt until 3 years after Harry was born. Well, there's a book that's out, and the book is not new. It's been out, I think, since 2006 or 7. That was co-written by Angela Levin, where they talked about how Diana actually knew James Hewitt before Harry was even born. And there are some similarities. So, that's a good point, Lori. Maybe Prince William is at a point now, he might think, well, let's put these rumors to rest. Let's get a DNA. And maybe that will happen. Now, I don't know the truth behind Harry's father, but I do think it is very interesting how they tried to change the narrative around when Diana knew James Hewitt. Because if you look at James Hewitt and Harry, there are some similarities that are not there with William. Of course, the hair color is the pretty obvious one, but we do know that there is, the red trait in Diana's family. I mean, her brother Charles, right? So that's why we accept the fact that he has red hair, because it runs in the family of Diana. However, if you... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yes, yes. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you. I didn't know that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, bye. Okay, so I have a picture I'm going to show you here in a second. We're going over a little today, but if you look at the just some minor things, if you look at the nose of Harry, his nose is not similar to Williams, but very similar to James Hewitt. Now, I'm not saying one thing or the other. I'm just thinking. I'm just like, that things that make you go, like that was a saying here in America on that, I think, Arsenio Hall show many years ago. It's just something that makes you go, you just kind of think a little bit more about it. Oh, okay. Interesting. And then also, William has, we know, the sausage fingers of like Prince Charles or King Charles, but Harry doesn't. Harry has pretty slender fingers. His fingers are not like his father's, but William's fingers are. So there's just some small similarities. But then there's times when I see Harry and I see his eyes are very similar to King Charles's eyes. Like their eyes look more similar than James Hewitt. So there's like this back and forth, things that make you go, and that's just, unless you have evidence, unless you have real concrete evidence, then you can't really say. So maybe that could be something like maybe William might do, get a piece of his father's hair, get Harry's hair, and be like, okay, go take this to get tested. Hey, you never know. So hold on one second here, folks. Let me just pull up this picture so we can all take a look together. Let's see here. Oh, here it is. Here's the picture. Let me just download this and then we can all look at it together. Okay. Image video. Here we go. So let's take a look at this picture that was used with Harry and these children at the Halo Trust. Don't these children look completely miserable? They are being used to help this man's image. They are being used to show Harry amongst all these young children who are living on more than probable in poverty, and showing Harry as like the savior, like he is looking like the savior of these young black children. I think they were forced to be in this position. They don't look happy, and more than likely they're like looking at this Harry guy saying, who are you, what who is this person? I mean, this picture says a lot. It really does. I don't see, like, this child in the back has a little bit of a smile, but every kid in this picture is, I mean, look at this little boy over here. He like looking at you like, why are you making me take this picture? You know? Look at this. Okay, here's a kid down here smiling, but it looks like he might be playing with his little, oh no, Harry's tickling him. That's why. It looks like Harry's tickling him. But all the other kids, these kids are like looking like, why are they there? And I'm sure the parents are like, why are my children being photographed? Like, do you think that these children have been given anything to pose with Harry, to take a picture with Harry, to help Harry's image? Like, this photo is supposed to be there to support Harry in his image amongst all these black children. Like, I'm here to save you from the landmines. I'm here to protect you as the savior. I'm the son of Diana. So I'm here to benefit you, impoverished people. So I think it's propaganda. It's propaganda, and it is trying to make yourself out to be something that you're not. And we know, Harry, you are a traitor. You are somebody who definitely does not deserve to be back into the good graces of the monarchy. And shame on King Charles for trying to bring you back covertly. Shame on King Charles giving you an opportunity to overcome things that you should be apologetic for, because we know the things that he has done were horrible. And with no humility and no desire to show remorse, why should anybody forgive you? You're just going to keep going and just like doing things to make people like you like this, and we're supposed to just all forget what you did? We're supposed to just overlook that and say, let bygones be bygones? Go use children to help with your image? And what? Like, it's so sickening to me how the people of certain countries in Africa gets used, and they're never given their worth. They are so used to help. It's no different than what happens with these charities. You know, these people that make these six figures helping all these children, but they do it because, you know, they're in the upper hand and they're the ones that are able to get all the money, and it never trickles down and helps the other people. It doesn't really help smaller charities like mine. They don't partner with us. They don't give us any grace to support people that are working in areas where they aren't. Like, it's an endless cycle. It's just corruption and things that are not fair, but you persevere, you move on, you keep doing what you can. But with Harry, I think, why should anybody forgive you? Why should anybody look to you as as someone that should be allowed to just walk back into royalty? Like, why? There's no reason. Like you just going to like say nothing and just have your papa go out and help you get the publicity that you need, and we're supposed to just act like nothing has happened, like you didn't do anything, like you didn't marry that kind of woman? It's disgraceful. And the king will definitely lose my support. Amongst a lot of you today here will not support the king. And I'm telling you right now, we have seen the sign that the king is definitely helping Harry. There's no doubt about it. This is the game plan. So we have to understand that, no, we can't allow this to happen. Okay. Let me see 1 second. There's one more thing I want to play for you before we go. Okay, I'm gonna play this story. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna share my screen. Mm.
O que é que vocês mais sabem para se proteger das pessoas?
Wow. You all see that? This is a mission. This is a mission. They're going all in to help this man. So there's the proof right there. There is the proof. All right, so if you're here right now, please go ahead and hit that like button right now. Hit the like button to show your support for being here with me today. I really appreciate you being here. And thank you to all the super stickers and super chats. Thank you so much. I appreciate you showing up and being here for these lives. I do every Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I definitely think that we need to keep our eyes on this because more is going to come with the king helping Harry. And we all know how we all feel about that, right? We all know, right? Okay. So I guess until we meet again and until my next video, I will see you all in my next live, and catch out my videos on Facebook to see Otis and me. Yeah, I'm still posting videos with me and Otis, some old stuff that I haven't posted. So you can enjoy those videos, and more videos will be coming behind the scenes of my time in Europe, in the UK, and in Germany. I'm going to end this live, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for being here and for all of your support. I really appreciate you guys.